Welcome to the Elk Season Podcast, Season 5, Episode 12. Today is July 9th, 2026. It is 52 days until Elk Season. We are the Chambers Brothers. My name is Harold.
I'm David.
And today on the Elk Season Podcast.
Whew. Adventure outdoors. I got a story to tell. Wolves in California again. Habituated bears come up. We've talked about that. Bears in the bathroom, which is really related to the last story. Human scent. Right? Elk in the drive-through. Not in the way you might think either. Scouts are coming back. And not Boy Scouts either.
Whoa.
Awkward? All right.
Well, we don't know, but maybe. But that's not what we're talking about.
Different kind of scout. Fish salvage ordered here in Idaho. That and more on the Elk Season Podcast.
Did you have a good fourth? Oh, yeah, that's right. You had a
I had
gig.
a great fourth. Yeah, I got to play a little show for a little back. So when you hear about artists, where do they always say they got their start? Backyard parties. I played my first backyard party.
Right on.
And there was 3.
You'll make it someday, kid. You keep going.
Just
you
keep trying,
going, buddy. Yeah.
I met a really cool guy, James. He's from, I think, him and his wife from Jerome. They moved from California, and he's just a talented older gentleman that plays a lot of the old Waylon stuff. Like he plays with a slide and all that. It was just really cool. And
cool.
It was funny because they didn't know anybody there except for the guy that invited them.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody there except for the guy that invited me, which is the same guy. So anyway,
Strangers are what friends are made of.
Somehow we sort of just we had a really lovely conversation. We talked up, and he's emailed me even, and we might meet up for coffee or something and have more of a conversation.
Cool.
But he's like, I got 25 years on you, kid. But like his style, his talent. It was just really cool to hear what he did, and it was really, really hot though. He was the first guy to go on. And it was so freaking hot that he got a little heat exhaustion, and he had to leave about 3 or 4 songs into my set. But he reached out. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, dude, you have to take care of yourself. Like it was hot. Like the first 4 songs I sang, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. I'm almost out of water. Like it was, and then about halfway through, it like cooled down. Yeah. But it was a fun time to celebrate America 250 and to do something other than home. In fact, I told the audience that was there, I said, look, the guy invited me out. He sent me a text, and I thought, well, what am I doing on the 4th? Selfishly, I'm just going to stay at home, and I don't really want to do anything. We got some fireworks and not hang out with other people. I'm like, well, that's kind of selfish of me. Yeah. So when I was invited, I said, well, yeah, I'm going to come out and hang out with great people that even if I know you don't. And seemed to go over well. And so I don't know how often they'll do events in their backyard, but the owner of the home was like, man, you'll come back, right? So I'm like, yeah, this is great. So we'll see.
All right.
Did you have a good 4th?
You know, I woke up, I went to the gym, I went home, I fixed the dryer, I fixed the lawnmower, I mowed the lawn, and I was tired. I had a really long day just working. You try to get in so much stuff, especially on the weekend before the temperature gets too hot.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, it's not too bad. I still had a lot of work on my chicken coop to do, and I was just so busy. To celebrate, I made myself a couple margaritas.
There you go.
You know, 1 is not enough, but 2 is too much. I did not make it to dark.
Okay.
I didn't see any fireworks. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. But that was my 4th.
I have a drink that I like. It's really nothing special.
Yeah.
But it's hitting me in the spot that I appreciate because it's not too sweet. I don't like a lot of sweet drinks.
Yeah.
There are these coconut waters with little bits of coconut in it.
Yeah.
And it's lightly sugared. It's not over sweetened, and it's mostly natural sugars.
Yeah.
And they come like $1 for a 16-ounce can.
Yeah.
And so Vesta and I will split them, and we'll add, I think it's just white rum. Really? I don't know if you call that anything, but that right there is like my go-to right now.
Okay.
It gives you hydration, gives you a little coconut in the water, and it's just kind of like simple and refreshing.
Let's think of a name.
Yeah.
Let's think of a name right now. I mean, coconut and rum. I'm thinking pirates.
Right.
I'm thinking a pirate ship, maybe. The plank, or right, something. Shiver Me Timbers, or. Anyways,
maybe
there's something there.
Because the little coconut bits follow the bottom, so it's like a plank or something like.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
There's something there.
There is.
We'll spend the next 30 minutes.
We'll call it a swashbuckler.
That's
good enough, right?
I think that's it.
Make me a swashbuckler. Anyway,
swashbuckler.
I'm sure swashbucklers already exist somewhere.
Well, my version of it is that.
That sounds good.
And it's just simple.
That sounds good. Yeah.
And I don't need salt on the rim or anything.
Yeah.
It's just pour and go.
Just plug and play.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
But you made a couple margaritas and.
Yeah,
and then you fell asleep.
Limes and all that.
I was driving by the college campus. Well, I was on pole line, but basically right there. And I saw something that I just never been on that part of town during that moment, because we've always traveled to campus and watched it from campus. But because of the way the pole line has developed and with all the green grass in front of all those businesses on the north side of pole line here, hundreds of people sitting there. Waiting, and we're watching, because it was going off while I was driving by. I was like, I'm ruining the show. I'm sorry. I turned my lights off just to help him out.
Wow.
But there's a lot of street lights there anyway. But it was pretty impressive, what I saw as I drove by. But I had to get home because I had to put brisket on, which
I can
we're
smell
cooking
it,
leftovers right now, and I can smell it. It's distracting, but it was a heavy brisket. I've never cooked a 19-pound brisket before. Wow. It was from Costco. It was the only prime brisket they had there.
Yeah.
The only other briskets they had when I picked it up were choice briskets. And there is a big difference. Not that we need to go in education mode right now, but the choice briskets were 24 and 25 pounds. They were bigger.
Oh.
And they were even more expensive because the prime had a sale. And so I was like, prime just has more marbling, more fat stuff. But we carved off a lot of fat on that thing and still had more meat than I can remember ever cooking a brisket.
Wow.
And so you can smell what's left.
Good times. Summer barbecue. I did buy a watermelon. I haven't cut into it yet.
Where'd you get it?
Fred Meyer.
Okay.
Yeah. I just was walking past and it had such a good ground spot.
So
right?
Yeah.
You go, that's there.
So
you go.
You know about watermelons, and the ground spot should be nice and creamy yellow.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I did breed watermelons for a couple years.
Yeah.
I do know a thing or two, but
I watched a YouTube channel with an Amish guy.
Yeah.
Talking about how to choose the best watermelon. And it was kind of annoying after a while. And I'm like, I don't like this guy's voice, but I recognize that he's knows his stuff.
But you hear the wisdom.
Right.
Right, of the years.
Well, anyway, I show Vessa this guy.
Yeah.
She goes, that sounds like the guy that does the Ken Burns documentary. And so I had complained about the guy's voice, show it to Vessa. And then when she said that, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're not wrong.
Was it Peter Coyote?
No, it's just a guy that sounds like very stagnant and very, when you have the watermelon out in the field, turn it over and look for the creamy yellow spot. If it doesn't have the yellow spot, walk away. Just like that. That's his delivery. And so I'm sorry, Amish fella.
In the field, to know that a watermelon is ripe, you check the tendril.
So he talked about the tendril, and if it's dried up, it stayed in the vine and it is ripe and it was harvested. So if it doesn't have the tendril in the store, which they normally don't, I look for where the stem connected, and I look for evidence that it was dried. And so the watermelon we bought for the 4th of July, I looked at the tendril spot, and it actually was kind of black where the stem came in. And then the yellow spot. In fact, I saw it walking up to it at Costco.
Yeah.
The yellow spot stood out to me, and I checked the tendril spot. And then I always do a little knock, and if it sounds deep and hollow, it's nice, a water load in there.
Okay.
And it was exactly that. It was a perfectly ripe watermelon.
Nice. Watermelons, I love watermelon. I used to eat a lot of watermelon. A lot. And then I spent a couple years working with watermelon. Yeah. And now I realize that how much grocery store watermelon tastes like garbage.
Yeah, it's
in comparison.
This one didn't have a lot of, it was sweet, but it wasn't flavorful. There was no flavor.
They're grown for how much they can produce.
Yeah.
They need to be tasty. They need to have a thin rind so there's lots of fruit. They need to be juicy. But they don't need to be flavorful or sweet. They need to produce a lot of fruit because farmers got to make money, and it's by the ton. Yeah. Anyway, it's a bummer. But if you ever find a fruit stand, some people grow watermelons because they taste good, and cantaloupes and honeydew, and those some. You see guys selling something on the off ramp. Stop and get some. You won't be disappointed.
That's right.
That's my experience anyway.
Yeah, no cherries this year.
No cherries. I'm starting to see a few apples now, a few pears.
So I was hoping,
my trees, but
I was hoping that the orchards in the canyon, like Kelly Orchard and stuff.
Yeah.
They were not spared.
Yeah, really?
They
Really?
Vesta said that she saw a post on Facebook that they're like, the freeze got us, folks. Wow. It's a especially hard year because
whole year.
it hit them in 2024 as well.
Wow. Yeah. Oh. That said, you ever drive through the Yakima?
Yeah.
Yakima, you see the big fans? They look like wind turbines, but they're just above the treetops. They do that to blow the frost. They turn those on in the spring to keep the frost off of those trees.
Okay.
And so I'm noticing on certain points of the tree where the wind hit it, or right, that I'm seeing a little bit more fruit on those sides.
Okay.
Not there's a lot of frost, not that there's a lot of wind when there is frost, which is part of the problem. But anyway.
Dang it.
Yeah.
So I gotta go buy a bunch of fans.
How much for a really big fan? I know.
So.
Well, it might be easier. I mean, those are for huge orchards. It might be easier just to, hey, you know what? Let's just throw a tarp over it. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Just get a tarp over it and just protect it somehow, or a big blanket or a sheet or something. Anything to protect it. Anyways, all right. Elk season stuff. We got elk season stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just start off. I went on a drive on Monday up to north of Ketchum.
Yeah.
And we were just scouting camping sites, trying to make sure that if we go up to a place that is known to draw people with campers and stuff like that, we have several options and places to go.
Yeah.
So we went down a few roads to just kind of see, well, what's that? What's the possibility here? What's the possibility there? We have our favorite spot, and we're going to try for that. We're going to leave on a Tuesday, so hopefully it's low, and we're going to actually spend a good time up there next month. But the thing is, getting out and enjoying nature and just seeing things, even if it's just a day drive. And so we did see a deer down in a riverbed crossing the stream. I didn't see it; the kids did. Yeah. But then we did see a big bull moose, a nice young bull, full velvet.
Little velvet, yeah.
And it's just cool to see animals like that up close. And he came up onto the road, actually. So we went up the road. It's called Baker Creek Road. We went all the way up to its turnaround point, came back, and when we came back, the moose was actually on the road. Oh. But then he did not like the truck, so he was very skittish and took off, which I think is good. Like, go be an animal. And I slowed down. I wasn't even. I slowed down the speed that I was going, trying not to get him more riled up than he was, and hopefully he'll have a nice, good life in the woods. See him again sometime. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I said hopefully like how many times? Hopefully. I won't say it again.
Hopefully you don't say it too much more.
But
which is really kind of nice.
Take some time. Enjoy the outdoors. Advocate to keep what we have. Let's go wolves in California.
Yeah. Wolves in California. There's lots of them. They're eating cattle.
Yep.
And they're illegal to kill.
We need active management.
We need better management. We need some active management. And this is the continued story. It's so interesting that we began this story 5 years ago when we started the Elk Season Podcast and saying, wolves will probably end up in Colorado. Wolves could end up in California. I had no idea they would be this deep in California.
Yeah.
They're doing good in California.
Yep. So I read an op-ed about the wolves in California, their success.
Yeah.
And I was concerned because the first thing that I see with this image is that it looks like they used the picture of those dire wolves. And I'm like, hold on now. I don't know. Maybe that's AI generated even. I don't know. But how good can this article be? So I read it with a skeptic hat on. Like,
of course.
Okay, I don't want you to be too flowery for the wolves. I don't want you to take away from the need for them to be there. I wanted a nice, balanced article, and I actually was quite surprised at how fair I felt the article was written, because they talked about, yes, it comes back. The wolves have come back, and they can provide stuff for an ecosystem. But what we've learned in Wyoming with Yellowstone, it's not all fun and games, and it's not quite what you think, and all of these things. So they were really inclusive to the data.
Good.
And then talking about the wolves and the cows and the cattle and the ranching and stuff. So I don't remember all the details, but I just was, you appreciate a good article when you come across it.
Right.
And I appreciate that somebody's out there doing something similar to what we do. We try to be objective to all sides of things. And I've even changed my perspective on a lot of things at this podcast.
So have
because
just doing the research on it.
And having the conversations and realizing, do I need to be that forward with my opinion about it, or do I need to be reserved and more open-minded, which I think it's fair in this day and age that maybe we could encourage a little bit more of that.
Yeah. It has helped me to slow down and think a little more critically.
Yeah.
So because every article, as well as it's presented or not presented, is just one data point.
Yep.
Just a single data point. And the narrative is what we're trying to follow. And using these data points up and down tries to keep us on that even keel narrative.
And that article was a good summary of that narrative.
Good.
I felt.
Good. Good. But yeah, something needs to be done. And it's just another note that, hey, wolves are killing cattle in California.
You said this was kind of a big talking point item. So here we are.
Yeah.
Habituated bears was how I introduced it.
Yeah.
But it's really about a fed bear.
Is a dead bear.
And so dive into that.
Well, there was a camp. There was a camp in Wyoming that was taken over by a black bear at night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the black bear comes into camp at night and ransacks, despite being shot at, being yelled at, and 4 large dogs.
Yeah.
This bear did not leave.
That's messed up.
That's a dead bear. That's a dead bear. He is used to human food. And when you follow that thinking, you think, well, bears know how to get into cars.
Yeah.
And we have another picture.
Yeah.
Of bears. It's a video.
The cars were locked.
The cars are locked, but bears know that there's food in the back seat.
Yeah.
And they try to pry open the doors. They try the handles. Sometimes they don't work. Bears, not all handles are the same. But bears go, we'll try this, we'll try this, we'll try to pry it open. And they just grab the frame of the door and just bend it back.
The window breaks and then they have access.
Being habituated to food is a problem.
Yeah.
Now, these women weren't hurt.
Nope.
It was 2 very experienced women, but the picture says it all.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Right, the picture says it all. The picture is of a tent that's been ransacked, but in the background you see their car.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And you go, okay, that's a campsite. They're not experienced backcountry campers.
Right.
They're just experienced campers, right? And so the bears know what campers' experience is like, and people are pigs, and they leave food everywhere, and they come into camp looking for food.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that time we were in our I was hiking with you, and we came across that bear, and it looked like it was heading down to our camp. And
Yeah.
And your tent would have been the first tent it would have likely come across. And that bear was not habituated to food.
Nope.
It ran off because it was sitting there. We're trying to get film like we're some sort of tourist,
Right.
and it's sitting there like, what are these 2 chumps up to? And then it
Right.
finally decided to run off. And then we had an interesting lesson with that bear because all we saw was its head, and we're thinking, oh, you see a head and you think smaller body frame or the proportion. But the first time you see a bear in the wild, and if all you see is the head, but then you see the body, you realize I misjudged that bear. It was a huge bear.
He was a big bear.
But he didn't want no part of us. No, he didn't want any part of us.
Now, I'm sure he smelled us.
Yeah.
I'm sure he smelled our food because we had food and garbage.
Yeah.
And I was real careful to keep my garbage in a Ziploc, right? But I think the garbage probably smells more than the food does.
But that's a distinction between a habituated versus an unhabituated bear, and that was in 2010 or 2011 or something like that. It was a while ago.
It was way back.
And so since that time, our knowledge and understanding how to keep bears hazed and like is much better.
Yeah.
You know, if we're actively hunting like we were last year or the year before, whatever it was, when we saw the 2 bears, that's different because we have tags. We're out actively hunting, but if it's a different scenario, we know what to do, and I hope that should we need to do something, it just comes automatically. But we'll see.
And then there's another situation, and when I think it was it Steve Rinella, Meat Eater, was talking about how prolific the black bear has grown. The population of black bears have grown along with humans in the United States. Right, all the other animals, deer and elk and coyotes, and their populations have come down as human population goes up. Bears, not so much. And I think, I haven't read any study for the record, but I think it's just that the human pigs, right? Humans just produce so much garbage, right? Even around my own house. Right, there's probably a bear could get into my one of my outbuildings, right? They're not super secure. The dogs might go crazy, but there's just when they have that habituation to food, they're going to find and get it. And there's another video of a bear up in a bathroom stall.
Yeah. So what brought that bear into the bathroom? Like that's the clear. I'm sitting here looking at it, going, what compelled that bear to go in there? I'm thinking the water source, maybe.
Could be. Probably outside pressure. It wasn't something pulling him. It was something pushing him. He got into a kitchen and somebody's like, oh my gosh, a bear. And the bear's like, oh my gosh, humans, run. And it ends up in the bathroom. Well, that'd be my guess.
I feel like he drank all the water in one toilet. Now he's climbing over the top of the stall to get the toilet water in the other one. And you just go out the door, bear. Like they're animals.
Yeah, but he's on top of the stalls.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like he could have gone out the door, but he's like, well, I'm a bear. I'm going to climb over because, it's just what I do. Yeah. In fact, I'm more intimidating up here.
A lot more intimidating.
Jeez Louise, man. Could you imagine? You don't have to if you watch that video.
Yeah.
So you also showed me a video. Bears don't like human scent unless they're habituated to it and they understand human scent is associated with food.
Right.
But in general, bear, and that's what saved me one time when I almost stepped on a bear in our same zone. A big old.
That's right.
Big old cinnamon bear.
Yeah.
20 yards up from me. Yeah. 10 yards. I could come down, but I turned upwind to go back up into the woods, and he barreled out of there. And I was like, oh my gosh! Had I come down from the other side, which I had contemplated doing, I would have come right on top of him. I could have been attacked.
You could have been.
And so I was like, oh my gosh. That was a crazy thing. But human scent is an important thing. But we talk about scent all the time. And we've had, scent is something to worry about. No, scent isn't something to worry about. Some people go to extremes. I think that for me, I'm just trying to find a balance, but I don't feel like I need to get too carried away with it like some folks do, like scent blocker. But I do things like I wash my hunting clothes with a scent-free soap.
Right.
I have.
I don't actively smoke cigarettes while I'm hunting.
Is that in reference to
anything? Right? No. I'm just saying that there's a difference in the volume of smell.
Yeah.
Right? If smell had a volume, right? I know I can't turn it off.
So this scent story, because something just popped in my head. Hopefully I can remember this point. But the scent analogy. What is that? From the video you showed me.
The scent analogy was when my dog poops in the yard, I can smell it. It's fresh. There's poop, right? A day later, not so much.
Yeah.
I can hardly smell it. I have trouble finding it if it's a day old.
Yeah.
So it was just a great illustration to me how scent has a distance of time to it.
So how might that translate hunting? Because that's where my mind went, and I think I had maybe a quasi epiphany. Maybe it's not.
To me, it's just proximity. I feel that after 3 days of hunting, my scent is stronger than just 1 day of hunting.
Yeah, but
so where were you going?
There's also hot and cold sweat.
Yeah,
and that's the analogy in the truest form. Hot poop, cold poop is what he's talking about in the video.
Right.
Hot sweat, cold sweat. So if I'm huffing and puffing and sweating, I'm steaming and more actively releasing scent. Versus when I've worked up a sweat, but I've calmed down, cooled off, and I might be stinky,
dried you. Yeah.
But I'm no longer as threatening.
And the number one thing I believe that helps with that is merino wool. I have merino wool underwear. I'm wearing it now. I have merino wool socks and merino wool shirts. And is that merino wool?
No, it's just it's hunter orange.
Oh, I went from cotton. I wore a lot of cotton. Cotton's comfortable. I went from cotton to like a polyester, right? To just stop the sweat. The polyester to me, yes, it does help keep you dry, really dry. But man, do you stink. For some reason, nice thin polyester socks or something, they keep your feet dry, but man, I can really smell it. The merino wool keeps me dry, and I cannot detect that scent. It's really interesting. It's really interesting.
Because I do notice that I just have, they're just Costco socks I wear. I don't double up or anything. I just have a single pair of socks. The boots that I have found and worn for the last 4 years do not cause any kind of blistering on my feet, ankles, or toes. The only thing
you're just not working hard enough.
The only thing that does happen is my second toe is longer than my big toe on both feet, and they both purple up the nail, and they'll fall off in about 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm finally healed. I have toenails, and that's about to go away. I get about 2 months a year where I have toenails on my second toe, and then I go hiking one time. It's over, man.
So the merino wool I think helps, but like I say, you can't. I don't think you can ever get rid of your smell, and because of that, I don't carry. I don't want to carry sprays, and I've been with guys who backpack with a spray, and they'll spray themselves down, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Teach your own.
yeah, if that's what you want.
And
if they wanted me to spray down, I would use their spray.
Sure.
I don't think it does that much.
Well,
but.
I haven't used. I mean, look, I haven't harvested, but I don't think not using spray is the reason why. Because I've had we talked about this last week. I've had so many close encounters.
Yeah.
It's my skill that sucks, not my scent.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a raghorn at 40 yards. If I would have just stayed in place.
It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. How many hours have you spent hunting elk?
50.
Yeah.
1,000. 50,000.
It feels like 50,000, but it's tiny.
And it's a drop in the bucket.
It's in the minutes. Actual interactions with elk.
Oh, that is what you're talking
right.
about.
Right. I mean, yeah, how much time you actually spend hunting versus actual interactions with elk. It's in the minutes. Right?
Yeah, it's
and every one of them is precious.
Yes.
Every minute of those interactions is precious. But, just trying to build that data set.
Man, sorry. I'm already putting myself on the hillside where we go. Like I'm starting to feel the excitement.
Yeah.
For what little time I will have to have little encounters. One of my things that I like to do is when somebody has a unique sandwich somewhere, I like to get it. So like we talked about the double down at KFC.
Yes.
And I haven't seen
still
it.
haven't had it.
Oh man, I've had 2 in my lifetime, and they're so good.
What about Culver's? Culver's makes a quarter pounder with cheese with a quarter pounder sized cheese slice.
I have not tried that.
It's like a mozzarella patty on top of a burger patty.
That's crazy.
They make it on a National Fries Cheat Curd Day.
Okay.
Anyways, this Culver's that we have here in Twin Falls is the Culver's furthest west.
Okay.
Of any Culver's in the U.S.
Yeah.
So this is last. So you look up National Fried Cheese Curd Day.
I have to go there. Do a podcast from a booth.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing this up because there's been a restaurant that has done some fancy stuff, but I never seem to remember when it comes in because they do it for a limited time only. But they do things like venison, elk meat, bison.
Really?
Arby's has the meats.
Really?
Arby's does these unique sandwiches every now and then, and so I've always missed out, but I've heard that it's gone over well when they've done it. I never seem to remember to go in. But I only bring it up because you showed a very interesting clip of an elk in a drive-through.
Yeah.
And that's a different kind of elk than what you're eating.
It's from Toot Outdoors, and Toot Outdoors on TikTok. Man, he's from Arizona. He has trail cams, the biggest, most beautiful elk you've ever seen. I would like more of his stuff. But I show my wife the videos, all the videos I like. And she's like, all right, enough with the elk porn. Stop it with the elk stuff. And so I would like everything he does because he's got so many cool videos, and he is out in the woods all the time, and he's out there with his dog Freckles. And I mean, sometimes I see him with bears, a lot of bears, and there's so many bears in Arizona.
Wow.
I see footage of a bear and I go, it's Toot Outdoors. And then I see the camera moving. I'm like, oh, that's not a trail cam. It's him there. He's there.
Yeah.
Right. Just cool. Watching this bear come up to a water hole. But anyways, it was just great. He saw it, and he just had the perfect approach. Right. Anytime you see an elk, and he saw an urban elk, and he snuck along this fence, and he poked the phone over the fence, and man, elk staring right at him.
Seeing an elk up close like that though it's something special about it. Even if it's at the drive-through. Yeah,
and he recognizes that, and every elk he sees, he wants a picture of.
Yeah. Here in southern Idaho, this happens every year, and I guess it was not something you were as familiar with, but the Bigwood River or the Bigwood Canal that comes out of Magic Reservoir. Right. Every year they shut water off. The water season shuts off at certain times. We're in a drought, and so it shut off really early this year. Yeah. And they always call out a fish salvage. So, in fact, I didn't even think about it because the water was still running pretty good when we went through there this Monday.
Right.
But Yeah, it's if you have I think a valid license to fish in Idaho, you can use whatever method to scoop them out of these.
Except guns, electricity. I read the thing from the fishing game. Guns, electricity, and explosives. I think you can't use those, but you can use nets, and you can keep as many fish. There's no daily bag limit.
Hey, put your unused fireworks back. You can't do that.
I know, it's a bummer.
So, the last thing, scouts.
Yes. I've always liked the idea of my adventures are fueled by fuel.
Yeah.
Right. I live out west.
Yep.
We live in some wide open spaces, and I am perpetually angry about how much I pay in fuel. Yeah. And I have been my whole life. Maybe it's because I'm grandpa or whatever.
Maybe.
But genetic. I just always have had this. Why is fuel so much? If fuel wasn't an issue, I could do whatever I want.
Right.
It's like I feel free. And so having an EV,
yeah,
like this new Scout, it would be like, oh, I just feel free again. Back when gas was 99 cents a gallon, that's freedom. That's freedom. When I was a kid in the 80s, and I went into a convenience store. One of his buddies had a moped. And I'm like, hey, buddy, what are you doing? He goes, cool, I got this moped. We can go for like 2 hours on a dime. A literal 10 cents worth of gas. And he has got an entire afternoon of fun in a moped.
That's cool. I remember it being like 89 cents a gallon and stuff growing up. And it was even less than that earlier than that.
And that is freedom. And now I have my Volkswagen EV. By the way, did the brother-in-law say anything?
Oh, no.
Okay. No. Because I forget that I'm even driving it. Right? I bought it deliberately as a grocery getter. It's so upsetting that I just drive so many miles on the truck, and I'm just going to appointments and grocery stores. And
the world, and because my 15-year-old boy is like, I never want an EV and stuff. I go, look, dude, EVs are here. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And gas vehicles are here, and they're not going anywhere quickly.
Right.
In terms of going away. You want to be a mechanic. You want to do those things. There are jobs to be had for decades still. We're just in a transition point. Yeah. That's all it is. And there's still going to be both options moving down the road.
The transition is going to take about 30 years. Yeah. And it's probably started about 10 years ago. So I would imagine in about 20 years, almost all cars will be EVs. That's my guess.
To a degree, though, the hobbyists are still out there. The classic cars are still going to need.
Yes, always.
So there's still going to be a need for it. So it's still out there. And what his job will look like and what he'll do might change. I told him, get in with Kendrick Motorsports. Go be a mechanic with the racers. I don't know if that'll turn into electric soon. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's already as much as guys love to go fast and go four-wheeling and just spit dirt everywhere, and it's fun. Mm-hmm. Electricity can do a lot of that for you. Electricity is really good.
But Scout is a brand, and I here's what I love about gas guzzling vehicles that are trying to force themselves into a change.
Right.
Because Hummer was intentional that way. Hummer said, we were the biggest gas hogs for economy out there. And when they went away, but they came back, they go, but we're not going to produce gas guzzlers anymore. It's all EV. I can't say that I'm a fan of the EV.
Actually, that H3, or it's an H3 Hummer, right? It's an EV Hummer, whatever it is.
The EV Hummer is an H1 size.
It is like the best EV truck out there. I mean, the Ford Lightning sucks. The Cybertruck sucks. The Rivian sucks because it's not full size, right? The battery and the power of the Hummer is the top notch right now in EV.
My understanding was the Silverado has the longest range.
Yeah.
So the longest range of a Silverado is the Silverado.
Okay.
But as far as I don't know which one you'd consider best. I know that the Silverado though has been touted as having the long.
I didn't know there was a Silverado EV.
Yeah, Silverado and GMC EVs. They're so
same thing.
So in fact we parked next to a Silverado when we went to a movie up in Boise 2 years ago.
Yeah. I don't think they're making the Ford Lightning anymore.
No, Ford Lightning.
So right, they introduced the Cybertruck, and then all these companies go, "Oh, we're making an electric truck too."
Yeah.
And then that either failed or fizzled.
So we'll see what Chevy does with their stuff.
But they ate up all the hype for the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
When the Cybertruck finally got here, the hype was gone, which is a bummer. But
It's not, sorry, I'm not a fan.
whatever.
Of the
I'm
Cybertruck.
excited about the international, or that it's not international.
But
It's a
I like
Volkswagen
Scout,
product,
and they have two different versions. They have an SUV versus a truck version.
very similar to Rivian.
They have the range extender though, and it's not like I kept saying hybrid before, and it's not a hybrid. It's a range extender. I'm like, well, isn't that what a hybrid does? I had this ignorance, and I looked it up, and I go, oh well, it is different fundamentally.
No, it's a generator. It's a power generator.
Just what you see people retrofitting their Teslas. You know, they put the
and you live out west in wide open spaces.
Right,
EVs, range anxiety is a real thing. EVs are not that practical.
No.
Because I mean, I like to drive long distances. We have driven some crazy distances.
But I saw Scout coming a long time ago, and I've wanted a Scout since I saw it in the range extender. And I saw it on Jerry Rig Everything's channel. He had been invited out to test drive them and do a demonstration last year, actually.
Oh, cool.
And so
I know that. I know I've been hearing about them for a while, and they're just coming onto the market now.
But it's just exciting to see things that are coming up, you know, and there's other stuff that are out there. I don't have high hopes for the Slate other than it's more economical for a lot of people to get into EV. And
so I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but the Scout, it's a plug-in? Yeah, you would have to plug it in. It doesn't just generate. You also plug it in.
Yeah.
So based on that, I would probably only use the generator
to extend.
So seldom.
Yeah.
So seldom.
It's
all right. That's it. I'm getting a Scout.
It's like, and can you?
And I'm going to get a CB radio with it.
Right. And could they offer alternative fuels? Like, because I have a 2-fuel generator. I can use propane or gasoline.
Yeah.
Could they do that, or could they offer just
yeah, you're right. So what's it going to be? So it's interesting. There's another company out there called Edison Motors.
Yeah,
you ever heard of them?
I've heard of Edison Motors. I don't know
Edison
much about
Motors
them.
does that type of hybrid where it's a generator and a battery, but they do it for logging trucks because you need electricity to go up the hill, but you generate electricity coming down the hill.
Yeah.
With that much load.
Yeah,
you're coming down the hill. You're generating electricity. So then he realized, well, because those logging trips are pretty short trips.
Yeah.
Right. And so when he realized that, he goes, oh, well, why don't we just get like a 4-cylinder Cat, a Caterpillar engine, and retrofit it in an old K5 series Blazer.
Okay.
That's a generator. And so he's selling, Edison Motors is selling retro kits, generators and battery packs for vehicles like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Really cool. Really super cool.
I watched a bunch of nerds. Like, what would you say? These nerds are, oh crap, I forget the name. Engineers and stuff.
Yeah.
Take an old
nerds.
They took an old original VW Bug. And turned it into an EV.
Yeah.
They stripped it, and it was just fun to watch that. It was a YouTube series somewhere. It was.
Yeah, and there's nerds like that, and there are always going to be nerds like that. As much as there are nerds, with the valves and their timing and their right. There's nerds who are in their computer who are going to find ways to make these vehicles faster than the cops can make them.
It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder as we move into the future, how the flux capacitor idea would change with EVs rather than GVs.
You're right. I don't know if we all had a Mr. Fusion,
right?
Then it would be okay.
There you go.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Until next time. Don't skip leg day. Goodbye.
Cheers.
In the morning light, before dawn, bow grip tight, heart beating strong. Through the forest, ancient giants roam. In the land where the wild calls me home. Through the whispering pines and the autumn breeze, driven by the chase, crisp air I breathe. With every step I take, earth beneath my feet. In nature's beauty where the hunter and elk meet. The mountains rise, kissed by the sun. In September, where I belong, bugles echo loudly through the veil, a symphony of an ancient pines and the autumn breeze. Driven by the chase, crisp air I breathe. With every step I take, earth beneath my feet. In nature's beauty where the hunter and elk meet. Silent as the morning mist, I travel on with careful grace. Every shadow, every sound surrounds me in this wild embrace. The challenge and the thrill, the patience and the skill. In the dance of life and nature, my heart's forever filled. As the sun sets, shadows long and deep, I find my place with the memories I keep. The chase and the beauty of a day gone by. Deep in the mountains, my spirit cries. Through the whispering pines and the autumn breeze. Driven by the chase, crisp air I breathe. With every step I take, earth beneath my feet. In nature's beauty, out where the hunter and elk meet. Here's to the wild places where the elk and I both roam. The chase that brings us closer to the place that I call home. In the stillness of the forest, in the grandeur of the land, I am one with nature's wonder, with my bow here in my hand.